Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another live stream fishing show. That's right, it's Sunday night and it's time for the live stream show. We're going to get started on Facebook. We're going to get rolling here shortly. Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another Sunday night live stream fishing show. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us on this wonderful Sunday night. I apologize, we're running a little behind tonight, but we are going to get started here promptly for you guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out with us on this Sunday night. It is Sunday night, December 8th at 8:31 p.m. We are going to get rolling here shortly for the show. We've got lots of great photos and tips and tricks to go over tonight. Tonight, I've got Captain Frank in the studio with me. How are you doing, Frank?
I'm doing as good as I always am on a Sunday.
And we're going to be talking about hogfish. The hogfish bite has been crazy right now. The half day, the all day, Captain Joe, Captain Bobby, Captain Frank, pretty much all the captains on a variety of different trips. Captain Sal on the hub are all catching those hogfish pretty darn well right now. So we're going to be talking a lot about hogfish and a lot about those gag grouper, because gag grouper are biting really well right now too. So great opportunity to go out there and catch some hogfish, gag grouper, also big mangrove snappers. So we're going to be talking a lot about those different items. Hopefully you guys are ready for a great show. Hopefully you guys got some questions for us. Don't forget to drop your questions in that comment box below, and we'll try our best to get to them throughout the show. Also, don't forget to comment where you're watching from. And if you're watching on Facebook, share the video with your friends, your favorite fishing clubs. Shoot it to your timeline. We'd appreciate your help spreading the word. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the Hubbard's Marina YouTube channel. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up as well if you're watching on YouTube. Now, don't forget to comment where you're watching from. You do need to comment at least one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page stream video. So you go to facebook.com, navigate to Hubbard's Marina, find that live video, comment at least one time. That's what makes you eligible to win those free trips. So if you're not entered to win by commenting on the video one time, you will not have a chance to win tonight. So make sure you comment where you're watching from. Don't forget to tell your friends to tune on in, because if we get to 300 live viewers, someone's gonna win a free fishing trip. So we do have to get to 300 live viewers in order to give away that free 39-hour trip. So it would behoove you to help us spread the word. That way more people are watching and you've got a chance to win that free 39-hour trip. But regardless, someone's going to win a free 10-hour all day for two. We're going to give away a 5-hour half day for two. And someone's going to get a 39-hour fishing trip, half price. Unless we hit 300 live viewers, then someone's going to get a free 39-hour trip. Now, if you're not watching live, you can skip forward to where you see the video start. These Sunday night shows are Sunday night, every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. We talk for about an hour and go over fishing tips and tricks. In order to win those free trips, you do have to watch live. So if you're picked as the lucky winner, you do have to shoot us a text to our main office number, 727-393-1947. That's the number you got to text if you're chosen as a lucky winner, and you got to text us quickly in order to prove that you are watching live. That's the goal here, guys, is we want those people watching live to have the best chance and the only chance at winning those free trips. So make sure you're watching live, stay tuned, sit back, relax, And we're going to get started here in just a second. I did drop our main office number into the comments for you guys. That way you could see it. Again, it's 727-393-1947. If you are picked as that lucky winner, that's the number you got to shoot a text to. You ready, Frank?
I'm ready.
Ready as we'll ever be, right?
Yep.
How you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in tonight, and thanks for hanging out with us on this wonderful Sunday night. We have a great show lined up for you. We are going to be talking all about nearshore and offshore fishing tips, tricks, and more, and answering whatever questions you might have for us, hopefully helping you guys catch more fish. That's the goal, right?
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here to do. So let's get right into this. Again, I apologize. We were a little late tonight, but for those of you tuning in for the first time, how these shows work is we always start off by showing you the photos of what we caught this week, what's been going on. We talk about the trends, then we talk a little bit about the weather, and then we get rolling with your questions. So, and then throughout the show at some point, we'll throw some free trips at you. So make sure you stay tuned for those. You don't want to miss out on winning free fishing trips, right? So let's get into the photos. Let's see what they've been catching inshore. We're going to start inshore, then go nearshore, and then go offshore. So first of all, inshore, the mackerel. The mackerel have definitely been around right now. This is the man, the myth, the legend, John Sasser. He is a John's Pass fixture, fishing at night inshore around the jetties. He's been fishing a lot outside of John's Pass as well, catching a bunch of different fish. But this is one of the mackerel he caught this week. Mackerel are definitely around right now. They're pretty thick around any local bridge, jetty, pier, pass are holding those mackerel, especially when the water's clear. In between those fronts is where you can find those mackerel. When the water gets muddy behind the fronts, real tough to get those mackerel to choose. So clearer water in between or right before those fronts are what you're looking for. Hit the wrong button, sorry. But also the trout. The colder water has the trout bite turned up. Trout are biting really well. This is a speckled trout. From the lighting of the photo, it's kind of hard to see that it's a speckled trout, but trust me, it is. Definitely a great opportunity right now to get on those speckled trout. They're thick around the bridges, the docks, the passes, and then back in the back bay waters around the edges of the grass flats, those potholes, and up on the grass flats too, you can find these trout. And once you find one, there's typically more around. Those trout are very congregated this time of year.
Definitely a schooling fish for sure, yep.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them where you catch one, you can often catch multiple. So good time to go target those trout. Snook, we're still seeing some of those snook around the back bays, the residential canals, great place to target them. Back into the back bay waters, the bridges, the docks, also the mouths of the rivers and the bayous, and then in the shallows along those mangrove shorelines in the afternoon. Once the water's warmed up a little bit from the sun, those snook and redfish are sunning themselves in the shallow water along those mangrove shorelines. Definitely afternoon is a better time to target these fish once the water's warmed up a little bit. But they're still catching them at night and in the early morning too, just not as thick as they were in the summertime. There's another speckled trout. Real good time to get a bunch of speckled trout. And then the tripletail. The tripletail have been super thick lately. These guys came into the marina the other day. They were out fishing along the beach in the morning. They caught a bunch of nice tripletail, and then they needed some help filleting them up. So they happened to stop by, and they were willing to share their photos with us.
Yeah, that's a really clear photo.
Yeah.
You see everything. There's one thing people don't. A lot of people may have not caught a tripletail yet before. If you ever think that a snook's gill plate is sharp,
yeah,
you haven't seen nothing yet.
This is what he's talking about.
That gill plate is, I think it's 10 times sharper than a snook, and everyone knows a snook gill plate is. But those things are just ridiculous.
And grouper have gill plates, mangrove snapper have gill plates. A lot of different species, saltwater fish have these gill plates. basically it's essentially a hard piece of bone that's sharpened to a razor-like edge.
Yes.
And it will cut you so
Yeah.
easily, so quickly, and it will make you bleed big time. So that's why you always want to reach up underneath the gills, right here where that white is showing, and you want to keep your fingers away from that gill plate, because these triple tail, they don't play. There's another good photo of that defined gill plate line. Triple tail have to be big. They got to be 18 inches to keep overall, but they are very good eating fish. One of the best eating fish.
Isn't it 15?
I think it's 18.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that one up.
No, Fish Rules. Download the Fish Rules app.
Rules.
I'm going to double check it right now.
Yeah.
I think I looked at it the other day, though.
Either
sure
way,
it's
pound
18.
for pound, one of the toughest, hardest fighting fish. The good news is they don't cut you off on a lot of stuff. So you can let it... Oh, look at that.
18 inches. Fish Rules. You can just type in...
I don't go
what did
by
I do?
that. I kind of do...
Just
They
do
need
whatever
to,
you
they
feel
need
like.
to call me so I can update them.
Yeah, so you can just go on Fish Rules. Let me get that oriented right. And it will tell you real easily what the regulations are. And up in the corner there, you can see the federal regs. You can easily toggle between the federal regs. So there's no federal regulations. So yeah, there's no fed regs. So it defaults to the state regulations.
That's right. They were 15. They bumped it up 3 inches in one day, one shot.
Yep.
That's right. Okay. I got it now.
I got you, dog. Stick with me. All right, so the triple tail are definitely thick right now, though. That's the long story short here, guys. We're seeing a lot of these triple tail hide on the buoys, the markers, the floating debris, anything like that near shore, around Tampa Bay, around the mouth of the bay, Egmont Key, up and down the beaches. Right now, the crab traps are out near shore, so all those crab buoys are holding those triple tail. The trick right now is getting out there early morning, because by mid-afternoon, those triple tail have been hit in the head by 6 different baits, because there's a lot of people out there fishing for these triple tails. So getting to them early in the morning before they've been bombarded by a bunch of different hooks and lures and attempts at their lives, you want to try to get to them early in the day, and that's when they're going to be more cooperative. But good eating fish.
Yeah, that's something that when you see a piece of debris, when you're offshore and you see a piece of debris floating out there, you get your rod ready before you even get up to it, of course,
Yeah.
because they're going to be on there. Just a 5-gallon bucket every time. It's got one sitting, they go right inside the bucket and they sit there. Sometimes they'll be outside of the bucket, but it's 80 to 90%. There's always one on. And if you see a palm frond or we've seen all kinds of crazy stuff out there floating, just a rack of line, just get the rod ready, because the sooner you can get that rod ready and stay away from that piece of floating debris, cast to it, and chances are you're going to get one.
And a lot of times you don't even have to see the triple tail. Like those 5-gallon buckets, one of the biggest triple tails I've ever caught, we came across a 5-gallon bucket. It was floating upside down because obviously there's air trapped in the top of that bucket. So the bucket's floating upside down and it's floating by. And I was like, I bet there's a triple tail under there. And sure enough, casted out a shrimp, and this monster triple tail came out from underneath and ate the shrimp. So a lot of times you won't even see the fish because they're hiding up underneath that marker, underneath that debris. With buoys, pretty hard for them to hide from you. But with bigger debris, it's always a good idea to stop. And what's interesting too is on that 63-hour trip that we did, and we came across that big marker in 900 foot of water, 120 miles from shore, it had 100 triple tail on it. So it really doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're inside Tampa Bay or you're 100 miles west of Tampa Bay. If you see floating debris offshore, 9 out of 10 times there's going to be triple tail on it. So,
and mahis.
And mahi. Or if you get out there deep, yep, you're right, mahis. So always go towards that floating debris. And if there's no triple tail or mahi on it, pick it up. Take it out of the water for us. So always a good idea to divert your trip if you see anything floating, because you never know what kind of fish might be hiding under there. And when you're really deep, not only do you have mahi, but sometimes you'll find wahoo and billfish and many others.
If it's a big enough piece, they'll get a bunch of baitfish on it too.
Yeah. So you never know what you're going to come across. Now let's see here. Let's get into the nearshore waters. And Frank, you see any good comments here? We'll copy and paste them so we can answer them later.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so nearshore waters, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been catching. Got a nice tagged red grouper. Want to make sure we emphasize again. We talked a little bit about it this 2 shows ago, but Frank tonight, I don't know if you guys caught it, but he's wearing the shirt. There it is. Oh, you pulled it out of frame. You got it. Come back towards me.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
The Refish tagging program. If you catch a fish like this red grouper with one of these tags hanging out of it, you always want to make sure that you turn in that tag. Now, if you're harvesting the fish, obviously it's a lot easier because it's in your fish box. If you're releasing the fish, make sure you write down the tag number, then release the fish quick as you can because you want it to survive until it can be captured again. So you want to quickly write down that tag number and release the fish. Then you can go onto the FWC website, or if you're on one of our boats, we have the postcards, and you just need to write down a general area of where you caught it, some information about yourself, and you can send in that postcard to the FWC, and they'll send you this beautiful T-shirt Frank's wearing.
Now, mine's a petite.
A schmedium?
Yeah, schmedium. Yeah. But let's see if we can get the back. Can we get the back here?
Yeah, there it is.
Right there.
All right, well, I'll help you out here.
There we go.
It's basically just showing that you caught a tagged reef fish. But it's not just red snapper. They do it for triggerfish, gag grouper, red grouper. They do it for red snapper. They do it for now hogfish.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. There was a reason why I wore this shirt tonight. So
Yeah, I don't mean to give it away, but
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Taking all my glory.
All right, so hogfish. We mentioned it before. The hogfish bite's been going really well. Is that lady throwing? Is that someone throwing up behind Joe?
Hey, look at the lips on that thing.
Yeah, I think someone's throwing up behind that hogfish in this photo.
Yeah.
Oh, nice hogfish have been coming up. Long story short there. And definitely been a real good time to get out there and get those hogfish. Joe was running a 5-hour half day the other day, and they came in with like 6 to 8 keeper hogs. And Frank, you ran a half day the other day with what, 10, 12 keeper hogs?
10 on I think it was Friday, and then we got 13 of them on Saturday.
13 keeper hogs on a 5-hour half day trip.
Yeah. And we boated probably, I think, like 50 to 60 in that 2 half days. And then with Joe, he had boated, I think, a couple dozen of that. I mean, so you're talking like 80 hogfish in 3 half days.
Yeah.
And it's real light loads right now. So
crazy light loads. I think we have 26 tomorrow going on the half day trip.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so great time to go catch some of these hogfish, and they are some of the best eaten, most unique fish. Live shrimp is definitely the trick for these hogs. They love those live shrimp. But also the gags. We're seeing those gag grouper near shore. This was from a Hub private charter with Captain Sal, and that's Captain Sal holding up that big old gag grouper that they caught on the Hub. The gags have been a little tough real close to our west. They've been a little better, a little further away. They're still in shallow water, but it's a little bit of a run for us to get to them. But the gags are biting well around the mouth of the Tampa Bay area, around the shipping channel, those inshore wrecks. And you can find them to our west, but you have to know where to look. They've been a little bit hit and miss. They are not as thick as we would like them to be, but I think they're getting there. But we can run up there and get to them, but it's a little bit of a run to get to them right now in those shallow waters. But the bite is going really well when you can get on top of those gags. Offshore, it's a whole different story, and we're going to get to offshore next, but just wanted to show off this nice gag they caught on the Hub this week. And then more hogfish and random sheep's head.
Oh yeah, she got a couple hogfish. I remember in a sheephead on just the one stop. She was having a blast,
nailing them.
Yep, she was out fishing her man. She was tearing it up. He got one too. They both actually, I think they both walked off the boat with a nice keeper.
We have a photo of them both holding hogs.
Oh
here
yeah, okay, cool.
But that brings up a great point. gentlemen watching the show, no offense, ladies, but gentlemen, if you bring your girlfriend or your wife out fishing with you, they generally are going to outfish you almost 10 to 1.
Because they listen in the seminar.
It's not even that.
And
it's
you already know what you're doing.
It's not even that. I mean, my wife will go out fishing with me, and she doesn't listen. God bless her soul. She doesn't attend the seminar. That is how I should rephrase that. Is how I should rephrase that. She doesn't even attend the seminar, but she will go out there and outfish me every time. I think on the last trip she was on, she slept and sunned herself and hung out and just relaxed on the boat and dropped 2 baits down and came up with the biggest fish of the day. Yeah, and that's just how they roll. So just be careful taking your better half fishing, because they will make you look bad quick. Let's see what else we got here near shore. There is a nice hogfish, and then another lady angler hogfish. More hogs, more hogs. Father-son fishing, you can't beat that. Can't wait for that to come up. There's a nice hog right there. That's a great photo.
Yeah, that guy actually, believe it or not, I looked at his hat, it said Seward, Alaska, and I've got a buddy of mine that lives up there. Well, he lives up there too, just talking on the boat, and they're like buddy, they know each other.
Oh, really?
I was like, yeah, it was awesome.
Small
so
world.
I called him, and my buddy from Alaska happens to be here too from Seward, and we're all, how does that end up? It's
That's
a town,
crazy.
There's like 800 people that live there.
Well, then if there's
790,
if there's only 800 of them that live there, know if they're from Seward, Alaska, they probably know your buddy.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of.
I just thought that he just had a fishing hat on. People have Alaska hats on at random, but he ran a charter boat up there for 7 years or something like that.
That's cool. But doesn't everybody think this is a really great photo? Look at that beautiful hogfish, the color.
They're so awesome.
Great photo. And then you've got this photo next, and it's not so good.
Okay.
You saw the setup?
I was about to say those are my knuckles. If anybody was wondering whose knuckles those were my knuckles.
Oh man, I was preparing for the show, editing the photos, and I was like, man, this would be funny.
That's all right. I've got a couple photos.
You
even
said, "Oh, that's a great photo."
Yeah, I knew what the photo was. I think it was taken on my camera. But
man, that is too funny. So another nice hogfish. Let's get back into this. Yeah. Hogfish, and more hogfish. There's the couple we were talking about out there. Tore them up, and then here's the big story this week. Christina Fernandez, our good friend from Orlando, she just did her 41st trip with us this year. So she drives all the way from Orlando to go out fishing, and she likes 10-hour fishing with this guy. And she has got the hogfish number dialed in.
She does. Now, this was a half day.
Half-day fishing trip.
Full limit.
Half-day fishing trip. Look what she caught. It's right here. There it is. 5
nice hogs on the naked ball jig. Naked ball jig. And
I can't believe it. Yeah, a hogfish limit on a 5-hour half day.
That's right.
I mean,
that was her goal for the day.
Yeah,
I'm going to catch my limit in hogfish today. And she got it on the last stop just before I was going to start the motors. She got the first 4 in.
That's crazy.
In I would say 20 minutes, and then the rest of the trip, it was just haunting her. That last one was haunting her.
It was a lot tougher than the first 4.
And then she got the last one. I'd say 3 minutes before we pulled anchor.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Those hogfish are just so tricky. I was talking to some guys from the 39-hour trip because they were all pumped up. They wanted to go get their gags. They went out there and did really well on the gags. Got a bunch of mangrove snapper. They're starting to feel confident on offshore fishing, but they were like, hey, I've never caught a hogfish. How about these hogfish? So we were talking this morning after the 39-hour trip about these hogfish, And I was like, basically, it's a lot like mangrove snapper fishing. It's very tricky.
Yeah.
You have to use specialty approaches. You have to use special gear for them.
But you can perfect it. I mean, for sure.
And it's a lot like mangrove fishing, but even a little harder.
Yeah. It definitely is a little harder. But,
and it's just so unique. I always say how if you can dial in on mangrove snapper fishing and you can get mangrove snapper fishing down pat, and you can go out there and catch mangrove snapper consistently and catch them often,
too,
you can pretty much conquer anything else. And you can't really say that with hogfish because the fishery form is just so unique and each one bites so differently. It's really unique fishing for hogfish because every fish you catch, like these 5 hogfish that she caught, they probably bit 3 or 4 different ways because sometimes they'll just come up and they'll just barely peck at your bait, or you won't even feel them. They'll just be sitting on your bait. Sometimes they'll come up there and they'll hit it like a mangrove, just pop, pop, pop. And then sometimes
it's
they'll
like
just
a gag group or
they'll just
train,
rail you.
get it and go.
Yeah, so it's so unique when you're out there hog fishing, and it's a lot of fun. And it's a little challenging because you got to get through all the rest of those more aggressive fish because definitely a little bit tougher to catch those hogfish because they're so leader shy, they're so unaggressive. They're some of the last fish to bite when you're on a spot. So you got to kind of fish through them.
Yeah. Now,
can you go through your approach on how you do it?
Well, I don't want to tell all my secrets here.
Just tell some of them.
This week they were just hitting them right away, and usually I tell the people to drop down squid first, and we get a whole bunch of the gray snappers, porgies, and all the little stuff going, and then casually somebody will drop down a shrimp, and then more people drop down a shrimp, and then I tell them once you see one hogfish, everybody go for shrimp, just and this time I didn't even have to tell them that. I was just like letting them do it as they wanted to do it, and it was just working. This week has been crazy.
It's been one of those weeks.
Yeah. It's been good. Hopefully it lasts,
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things. It can be hit and miss too, because you can be on top of the hogfish one day doing really, really well, and then all of a sudden they can kind of fall off on you. But right now they've been steady.
Yeah, and some of the all days, we've been traveling. A few of them we've been traveling out to like 90 foot of water, and the hog fishing. If we have tough. If the weather's a little choppy, I'll stay in closer and we'll target those hogfish.
Mm-hmm.
And but we do like to see some more red in the box, so we have been going a little deeper. But I think this Tuesday, the weather's looking pretty good.
Oh yeah, real good.
And Thursday may look a little snotty, a little bit. It is an east wind though. But I think that Tuesday we're definitely going to be targeting them up for the all day trip.
Targeting the hogfish.
Yeah. If we get out Thursday, I don't know. Have you taken a look at the weather?
Yeah. I've looked at the weather. Thursday has a stronger east wind.
Right.
But I think we'll be able to get our 10-hour out. It looks a little bumpy offshore. Basically, this week we'll just we'll get into that real quick.
Yeah.
So let's pull up the weather here, so we're not just guessing.
Because a lot of these people are probably going to want to come with us this week.
Yeah, so we'll pull up our website, hubbardsmarina.com.
Show them how to do it, Dylan.
Yeah, go to Fishing Trips. Under Fishing Trips, you can scroll down to the Weather Links page. When you're on the Weather Links page, these are the links that we use to check the weather ourselves. I really like the wind finder forecast to give me a good idea of what's going on. So we're going to look at the 5-hour forecast, the 10-hour forecast, and the 12-hour forecast. Pull all 3 of these up real quick. So here's the 5-hour forecast. It's the Egmont Key channel entrance is what I was trying to say. And right here on this graph, you can see what the wind's doing. The next couple days look really nice. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, great weather. Then Thursday, we get this little high pressure settle in on us, and that's what creates this east breeze. And that east breeze is going to kick up a little bit of a sea. So it's going to be a little bumpy Thursday. Tuesday looks really, really nice.
Yeah, if they've taken the time to come watch the show, I think we're just going to straight up tell you, if you can come to, if you have the option of Tuesday or Thursday, come on out Tuesday. When we'd like to have you out.
And Tuesday has a nice light load on it. We've also got a 39-hour trip Tuesday with a super light load on it as well. And the 39-hour weather is looking just as good on Tuesday. That Tuesday trip is going to be fishing Wednesday.
That changed a little bit. Yeah.
That changed a lot.
Yeah,
they were forecasting some really high seas for Wednesday. So this coming Tuesday's 39-hour trip, because of that, has a super light load, because they were forecasting like 8-foot seas Wednesday. Now it's only showing about less than 2-foot seas. So going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride in. Probably going to pick up to about 4 or 5-foot seas on the ride home. But by then, hopefully, you'll be so tired from catching all those fish that it won't matter.
Yeah, ride home.
Yeah, easy peasy, right? Yeah. On the ride home, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? It's already done.
Yeah, you're already tired. You're in that bunk. It'll rock you right to sleep on the way home. But I think it's time to give away a trip. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to give away a 5-hour half day here first. 5-hour half day is going to be given away now. That's for 2 people. That's a $110 value. And we did hit 300 live viewers, so someone's going to win a free 39-hour trip too. But we're going to start with the 5-hour half day for 2, and let's see who wins. Remember, if you get picked as the lucky winner, you do have to shoot us a text to 727-393-1947. Dana Shepler?
It's Dana.
Dana? I don't know how to pronounce stuff. That's
know,
what I got
tonight.
computers for.
Dana Shepler.
Dana Shepler from Woodstock, Georgia. Congratulations on winning that 5-hour half day for 2 people. Make sure to shoot us a text message, again, to 727-393-1947. You can shoot us a text, and we'll get you that certificate mailed out to your house. So I do need your home address if you're chosen as a lucky winner. Include that in your text messages, please. That makes it a little easier. But we pretty much went through everything here for Nearshore except for Frank's
right here.
Frank's little piece of gold here. So I'll let you roll with this.
So Saturday we had FWC out on the boat, and we are involved with a tagging program.
Yep.
And
how often does the FWC come out with us?
Pretty often, once a week, probably at least, if not 2 times a week or more even.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I've had them on back to back trips, especially red snapper season and whatnot. But the one thing they had never done before is done any kind of hogfish tagging program. And they just started that Saturday, and you can see a picture right here of them, the first tag ever going in. I was like, wow, this is like, I got to get a photo of this,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool that it was the first go at it, so
first time ever that the FWC tagged and released a hogfish, and it happened to be on our boats just recently. And this tagging program, essentially what they're doing is they're tagging these fish that we're releasing, and then when they get recaptured and someone reports that tag, you get a beautiful t-shirt like Frank's wearing. Mm-hmm. But then also the FWC gets all that data on the growth rate of that fish, where that fish has moved since it was originally caught and tagged. They get a lot of helpful information. And then if you kill the fish and you report the tag, they always like to try to come down and get the otolith too, so they get even more information. So that's why they go out with us a lot, because of the catch rate. They get a chance to tag a lot of fish when they're on those party boat trips, and they get a chance to capture a lot of fish with tags in them.
I think we tagged 10 hogfish at that particular spot there.
Ooh, yeah. So chance to win catch a t-shirt, as I say.
Yeah, catch a t-shirt.
You never know when you pull up one of those fish, even if it's an undersized red grouper that's got to go back. Yeah. If it's got a tag in it and you record that tag number, you just caught a t-shirt. So yeah. Definitely a cool little souvenir.
And you're part of what we're doing.
The research, yeah.
The research of it all. You're part of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you see there's a mango there, we tagged that mango. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I tagged the mangrove.
Yeah, I don't know if they normally do that. I don't think they do.
Yeah, they tag the mangroves on the long range trips.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they don't tag the juveniles a whole lot, but that's cool to be able to get a chance to get a tag in one of those juveniles, because now he's going to swim offshore.
Yeah, that thing might be that thing's going to be crusted with barnacles by the time it's caught.
Yeah, and it'll be cool too because they don't get to tag a bunch of them because there's not often are we throwing mangrove snapper back, so not often do they get to put a bunch of tags in them. But they've done it before. I've seen them do it sometimes on those trips, like when you get limited out or people start getting picky with the mangroves they're catching. I'll see a lot of those tagged mangroves going back over the side. Yeah. But speaking of offshore, let's get into those offshore photos and look at what we've been catching on those 39-hour trips. We've got lots of Tuesday 39-hour trips coming up. We've got a Tuesday 39-hour this Tuesday. That's 2 days from now, December 10th. And then we've got another Tuesday 39-hour, December 17th. Those are the last two 39-hour trips for Gag Grouper this year. Gag Grouper end December 31st. So if you want a chance for a Gag Grouper fishing, a really good chance at Gag Grouper fishing and catching, definitely check out December 10th or December 17th 39-hour trips. They both got lighter loads. December 10th, the 1 and 2 days, has lighter load, and we know the weather looks good. So yeah. That's a no-brainer right there. You want to jump on that because Gag Group are closing. The other option for those gags are the Flying Hub 2 12-hour extreme trips. You can hop on private charter trips on the Hub, the Flying Hub 2. You could do a 10-hour with Captain Frank and Captain Bobby. The 10 hours, we haven't seen a ton of keeper gags, but there's a few mixed in there. And always a good bonus for sure. But a great opportunity to catch big gags and then a lot of these big mangrove snapper. We've been seeing the big mangrove snapper mixed in with those Gag Grouper, and it's a great time to get offshore and go deep for those Gag Grouper. This was Sean Kelly over here hidden behind this gag. He was going out for his first 39-hour trip. He got one of those Daiwa Saltigas and the Bull Bay custom rods that we have. Got it spooled up, and his goal was to go out there and catch a gag. He went out and caught two.
Nice. That's a gnarly mouth on that one, too, man.
Big gags. Got some teeth. Yeah. And then he got a bunch of mangrove snapper. He had a really good first trip, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And some big mangroves. John Martin showing off one.
Oh, mahi.
That's and we caught a couple lost mahi. Definitely a weird time of year to see these fish in our area. Generally, we come across mahi more commonly in the summer months when the water is warm. But caught a mahi on this trip, even though the water's cold.
Cool.
Big old gag. That's a beautiful photo of that gag, too.
It is.
See the coloration on that guy. Beautiful big Gag Grouper there. Another mahi. Jason's pumped about it.
Yeah, he is.
Big amberjack. They were trolling across one of these big peaks, trolling a bunch of different Rapala X-Wraps and different trolling lures. And at one time, 4 amberjack got hooked up. And this was the biggest of the 4 that got hooked up.
There's some fatties.
Yeah, some monster amberjack on the trollers, ironically enough. And then,
nice, dude. Yeah. It's awesome with the bird right there like that, too.
And then on this 39-hour trip that came in this morning, they ran into some unexpected and unforecasted weather events. And luckily, the Florida Fisherman 2, that big party boat that we send out there for the 39 and 44-hour trips, it's a beast. It's so stable and wide and such a large vessel. You really have almost nothing to worry about because you're not going to run across an unforecasted hurricane. But this time of year, some of those little fronts and those little storms come ripping across the Gulf. They can be serious. But on a 70-foot...
for a minute, though. They're usually right through it.
And they would be serious if you weren't on a 70-foot long, nearly 30-foot wide vessel. But they had a bunch of these water spouts cruising by the boat towards the end of this 39-hour trip. And it got pretty rough there, 6 to 8 foot all of a sudden. It was nice the whole trip. They had a great night of fishing, great morning, great midday bite. And then towards the end of the trip, like the last 2 spots, it kind of let loose. And they got chased home with some of these nice big old storms and big waves. So you can't really see too well. Well, the photos never do it justice.
No, they don't.
But that is a pretty big sea that got kicked up here all of a sudden.
Just the color of the water out there is just so different.
Oh yeah, everything is just so unique.
Than it is at 30 miles. It's you can clear up a little bit at 30, 35 miles, but that when you're out there, 70, 80 miles, just so blue, man. I love it.
Yeah, and it almost gets purple when you're out there. I love that purplish color that you get, and you can really see it in this photo here. The prop wash.
That's what made me think of it.
Yeah, that prop wash color, once you get out there deep, is just so unique. It's beautiful. Nothing like it, for sure. Those 39-hour trips give you a chance to see that pretty often, and it's always fun. Nice fat red grouper there. Look at the size of that guy. He's got a stomach on him, doesn't he?
He does. I'm glad he didn't puke on the deck.
Yeah, that is a toad of a red grouper.
And speaking of toads,
there you go. That's Larry Miller showing off a monster gag grouper that he caught. That is about as big as they get. Big as you run across commonly, I should say. Gag grouper can grow to be upwards of 80 pounds, but you don't see those too commonly. These 35, 40-pound gags is pretty much your large, extra large size gag grouper that you run across on a fairly common basis. By that, I mean you see 20 of them in a year, and you won't see more than that. Yeah. You don't see an 80-pound gag grouper more than once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I know I've only seen one in my lifetime, and that was back in the early 90s.
Yeah, as far as gags go, yeah.
Yeah, those gags, those big gags, they're tough to find. And they're big. That's one of the big issues they have with gag grouper right now, and what they're saying at the Gulf Council level is one of the big problems is when you go out there and catch one of these big, bad to the bone male gags, because those big, huge gags are typically males, and they're the rusty bellies. Right. They're the dominant apex predator in that area, and they will have 20, 30, 40 female gags that they mate with. And gags change sexes, so they start off their life as males, and then they change sex into females at a certain stage when they get to be adults. I think it's around 18 to 24 inches. And when they change sex, that's when they become adult breeder fish. And one dominant fish will stay male, and then he will dominate that area. He'll get that rusty belly look because he's not moving around, and he's dominant. He makes that area home, and those are his fish to breed with. But then divers, fishermen like us, we go out there and take that big rusty belly male gag out of the equation. One of those female gags then has to change sex to the male and become the dominant. But that takes a lot of time, and that's one of the things FWC is studying right now is how long does that process take, and taking these big, huge, rusty belly males out of the equation, is that taking 2 years of possible breeding fish for a whole area and making it not available? Because if you take one of these big rusty bellies that was breeding with 30, 40, 50 females, and they're breeding twice a year, and you take them out of the equation, then all of a sudden it takes 1.5 years, 2 years for that big female to change into one of these big males. You've essentially taken 200, 250 breeding opportunities off the table for those gags in that area. So it could be pretty significant. So it's an interesting study they have going on right now. And I don't know. If you caught a 50-pound rusty belly, it'd be hard to toss them back. It would be real hard.
I don't know. I mean, I like the pictures, everything. For me, it really does. I don't think I've kept a snook in, probably eight years. I haven't kept.
It's been a long time.
Just take a photo and throw them back. Even the big ones are just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like shrimp.
I like shrimp. I like hogfish, lobster.
Yeah, every day I ask.
I like small grouper myself.
Every day I ask Dylan for a bucket of shrimp, and he thinks I'm using them to fish with, and I just take them into the cook and
into the galley,
and I have him cook them up for me
on the ride out. That's your breakfast.
I didn't get any hogfish today.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, to me, my favorite eating grouper are the smaller ones, like the barely legal scamp grouper, the small strawberry grouper. Okay. Those are the best eating.
Here we are, food.
Grouper for sure. Yeah, well, we're back on it.
Back on it. I knew I should have stopped at Wawa.
All right, back to the photos. Oh, I clicked away from the photos. There they are. So, big mangrove snapper too. Definitely a great trip. I don't like that
lady.
That lady's awesome.
You know, I don't like her.
Share. Oh, she's gonna kick your butt tomorrow.
You know, I love you, honey. Just hoping maybe
she's gonna stick him in the neck with a knife tomorrow. I'd watch out.
Goodness
she's
gracious.
Serious. She's serious.
Well,
I won't mess with her. So definitely a great catch of fish. You can see all the nice gags. They had that mahi-mahi. They had the big blackfin tuna. Definitely a good catch of fish. And some nice scamp mixed in there. A few big red grouper as well. So it was a good 39-hour trip. And one of many. We had a Tuesday 39-hour trip too. And here's some photos from that Tuesday trip that got back this past Thursday. Here's some of those fish. Another great trip with lots of gags and big mangrove snapper. Just a great time to get out there and go fishing right now. Go deep and take advantage of those gags while you can, because gag grouper season is ending December 31st. You've only got a few more weeks, 3 more weeks essentially, to go after those gag grouper. So get them while they're hot, because that season is going to come to a close abruptly.
23 days.
23 days and it's over. And definitely want to get a chance to get out there and get those gags on a Flying Hub 2 12-hour extreme, on a 39-hour trip, or do a private fishing charter on the Hub, the Flying Hub 2. Get out there and go fishing. And then, shameless plug real quick, don't forget about our Bass Pro fishing seminar coming up December 31st. If you like our live stream shows, those Bass Pro events are very similar to our live shows. It's a Q&A type situation where I get up there and we're talking all about nearshore and offshore fishing and answering your questions. But then also we still give away trips as well, and it's in person, so you have an opportunity, I should say, to come ask me questions in person. I can show you around the shop and show you the different tips and tools and rods and reels, and we can talk more there in the shop too. So definitely come see us December 31st at Bass Pro Shops. I'll pop in the comments a link to the event page. Definitely click that link when you have time and check out that event page for me, and make sure you click going or interested, so that way it will help me spread the word a little bit. But I think it's time to give away another trip.
All day, yep. Let's do the all day.
All day, 10-hour all day. I would use it this Tuesday for one of those hogfish, possibly, maybe even a gag. You never know.
Or save it till you're broke, you know.
It is good for a year, so you could save it.
It's Christmas time.
You could save it after Christmas.
I went broke right now.
Ken Mobley. First time he was late to a Sunday show, but hey, maybe it's good luck.
Yep.
No, it's definitely not good luck. You always want to be here at 8:30.
That's right.
Ken Mobley, you are a lucky winner on the 10-hour all day there, bud. So again, if you're picked as that lucky winner, shoot me a text to 727-393-1947. That's our main office number. That's where you could call us or text us, but obviously we're closed right now, so you would text me at that number, 727-393-1947. Shoot me a text with your name and let me know you're a winner, and send me your home address, and I will send you out those certificates. But we still have another trip to give away, too.
Yeah, we do.
Someone's going to win a free 39-hour trip, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into some of these questions that we saw here real quick. Some good questions. One question was, hey, it's my birthday this Thursday, and I want to come fish with y'all again soon. I need to win this birthday trip, man. Well, guess what, guys? We give you birthday trips at Hubbard's Marina.
A free trip on your birthday.
Birthday trips, birthday So let me show you this real quick.
Tell them about it, Dylan. Tell 'em
Yeah,
about
we're gonna show you about it. If you go to our website, hubbardsmarina.com, right on our website, if you go to info, scroll down to free birthday. Oh, you can't see it because of the video. There it is. Under info, scroll down to free birthday trip, and that's gonna give you all the birthday special information.
It's literally got its own link.
It's got its own page. It's free birthday stuff, guys. You can get a free...
This is rookie stuff. You should know this already. You always come fishing with us on your birthday. Every year for the rest of your life.
There you go. Now
It's
we just made plans for every birthday you have until you're not here anymore. So
Jesus, what's all this?
I don't know,
death
man.
talk?
You coughed up water on me.
Yeah, the water.
Oh man, I don't know what's into me tonight, but long story short, come join us on your birthday. All you have to do is it has to be your actual birthday. So for example, if your birthday happens to fall on a Friday, you can do a 5-hour half day, a 12-hour night snap, or a 39-hour trip. If your birthday is on a Saturday and that 39-hour trip is Friday through Sunday, you can still join us for that 39-hour trip. It's only free for a 5-hour trip or for a 10-hour trip. That's free. And then for 12, 39, 44-hour trips, it's $90 off. So still a great value. Not free, but a great value. You do have to bring someone with you who's paying full price, and you do have to have a valid photo ID showing that it's your birthday. So not too much
unless
to
your
ask.
Birthday happens to be on Thanksgiving or Christmas, when we're closed, we'll make up.
Yeah, I mean, if your birthday's Thanksgiving or Christmas, that's really, really, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
We'll work with you.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But definitely check out that birthday trip. We got way diverted there with that question. Let's see here. Another question. Are 2020 red snapper dates finalized? No, they are not. And they will not be. And if you wait for them to be, you're going to be in trouble. Because red snapper dates for hire vessels, like charter boats and party boats in the Gulf of Mexico, those dates will not be released. And at the earliest, I would expect late April, early May. Typically around mid-May is when they announce those red snapper dates. And if you wait until mid-May, those trips will all be sold out. Right now, our schedule opened up December 2nd, so that was 6 days ago.
Yeah.
The first 3 red snapper trips are almost sold out. That's how quick it happened. Literally, the first day, within 2 hours of the schedule being released, the first red snapper, the 44-hour trip, that first one of red snapper 2020 was almost sold out. So make your reservations early, make them often. And right here, I'll show you, if you go to hubbardsmarina.com, under fishing trips, scroll down to specialty trip schedule. Under the specialty trip schedule page, it will bring up here the specialty trip schedule. You'll click on this image, and it will show you all the dates for our 5-hour trophy shark trips, our 12-hour night mangrove snapper trips, our 12-hour extreme trips on the Flying Hub 2. It'll show you all the 39-hour dates and the 44-hour dates. For 39 and 44 hours, those highlighted trips are within 2 or 3 days of the full moon. So there's some full moon 39 hours in there. And we have our expected seasons and what we're expecting to target in the expected opening dates on that schedule. But again, those are just very educated guesses. And those seasons could change. So I always recommend staying tuned to our videos, staying tuned to our updates, stay tuned to our newsletters, and we'll update you. But red snapper has opened June 1st for the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. So it's going to open June 1st. It's
ended many different dates, but
always opens June 1st. So I guarantee you, it's going to open June 1st for hire vessels. And then as far as the closing date for red snapper, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be somewhere between August 4th and August 6th. I'm betting August 6th, but we'll see if I'm correct. essentially we had 62 days this past year. I don't think that our quota was filled because we had some really rough weather and they didn't give us enough days to compensate for that rough weather. So I very confident that this year we'll get a longer season, more days to accommodate that. So hopefully,
yeah, it was messed up, man. They tried to, for the recreational anglers too. They gave
private recreational.
Yeah, private recreational anglers. They tried to give them an extra like 3 weekends.
Well, they gave
and just the weather was just snotty.
But they gave the FWC controls the red snapper season for private recreational anglers. The feds, NOAA's National Marine Fisheries Gulf Council, they control for hire. So charter boats and party boats, red snapper for recreational anglers. So the feds are not as nimble as the state. So the feds, they couldn't get their numbers out and they couldn't say, yes, you didn't fill your quota, here's a longer season. The state, they can do that because they're doing their research, they're doing their data collection in a more agile way. So they were able to spit out the numbers and say, hey, the quota wasn't met, let's give them more days. And they gave 3 extra weekends. 2 of them were completely rough, so they gave 2 more weekends. Terrible. One of those extra 2 weekends was blown out, so they ended up giving a total of, I think it was 6 extra weekends of red snapper fishing to private recreational red snapper fishermen this year. Next year, the season, I don't know how that's going to go because I think it was overfished by a little bit, but I don't think that's been finalized. So private recreational red snapper season, I am not even going to make a guess about because FWC is, again, very nimble and they can go a bunch of different ways. But the feds guarantee you June 1st, and I guarantee you it'll probably end that first week of August. And keep in mind, August is when amberjack open. So that first week of August, you will be able to keep any fish you catch except for gray triggerfish. Kind of those unicorn days. If red snapper season is truly extended into August, that first week of August will be a bad to the bone time to be out on a 39-hour trip.
Those, so quickly because it's the
book of flying hubs
crossing over on each other.
Yeah, because amberjack season should be August, September, and October, and we should see a May season, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's supposed to be May, August, September, and October, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to open in May. It'll probably just be August, September, and October for the amberjack. Triggerfish should open in March, probably close sometime mid-May. Red grouper should be all year. Gag should be June 1st through the end of the year. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. So that's to answer your questions on that. What other questions did I see here? If I can pull my sheet back out. How big is a keeper hog? That one's 14? Yeah. 14 inches.
14 now.
Yeah, 14 now.
And that's,
it was 12,
the inside
right?
fork. And
that's something to talk about right there.
It's closed mouth, inside fork, and I'd say we're probably looking at about a third.
Fish rules, baby.
Yeah,
had to check it again just to make sure we were telling the truth.
There's about a third of the hogfish that come over the rail are usually a keeper. I would say that's kind of the average. I mean, we will have a stop where we'll get 8 keepers and no throwbacks, but for the most part, it's like 3 to 1.
And what he's talking about is real important, the inside fork. So it's fork length on those hogfish. So how you measure a hogfish is close the mouth, and then once you close the mouth, you measure from the tip of their mouth to that inside fork. So right where it's the shortest on that tail. You can't measure to these dangly things at the bottom. You got to measure to that inside fork. And it's got to be 14 inches. So that's a pretty big hogfish. That's a 16, 17 inch fish when you're measuring it overall.
And
so
I think that's kind of where they need to be. I mean,
it's got to be a big fish.
It was really tough when they jumped it to that 2 inches overnight. It was tough for us to, to get a handle on that. But it should have maybe done I felt like maybe an inch or a half an inch a year, like they do for flounders up north. They've done their studies, and if they felt like they had to do it, and really there's not a whole lot of meat on a 12-incher anyhow. So I think it was a pretty solid move thinking back on it.
Yeah, for sure. So another question I saw were those big hogfish from a 10-hour trip that we were showing.
Nope.
A lot of those hogfish we were showing photos of were from 5-hour half-day trips,
I
but
think all of them were half days.
that particular
string,
round.
yeah.
But we do catch a lot of hogfish on our 10-hour trips
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
We're going specifically, like I said, on Tuesday for hogfish. So if,
yeah.
somebody was asking about that. That's
I mean, you can catch hogfish on a 5-hour trip. You can catch them on a 10-hour trip. I always tell people if you want to go target hogfish, it's going on one of these special 10 hours that we talk about
Yeah.
that specifically targeting hogs is best because we get more fishing time for them and we're able to anchor up. We're able to spend more time because as we mentioned before, those hogfish are the last to chew.
Yeah.
So you got to anchor up. You got to fish a spot for a while. And then when that bite slows down, that's when that hogfish bite picks up.
yeah.
And on a half day, you can't do that.
Yeah, and that's why we'd like to well, we do a lot of drifting on the half days, quite often. We haven't the last few days. The anchor bite has been just awesome for the hogs and the gray snappers. But we specifically anchor on our all day trips just for those hogfish, and we're it just you got to do it. And the more we talk about it, like the more fishermen we have come out there, like you guys that are listening, and are buying those shrimp. It's not we're trying to make $1 on a shrimp. We're trying to get you out there because the more shrimp that we get in the water, the more those hogfish stick around. They're like a pack fish. You catch one on the bow. Usually you see 3 or 4 come up right there, and then 20 minutes later, boom, 3 or 4 come up on the back of the boat or in the middle of the boat. They just kind of move around. But the more shrimp we got in the water, the longer they stay around. And
Yeah, it's important, and we got to work together as a team to get them going. That's for sure. Another question was, how do those hogfish taste? They taste awesome. Definitely in my top eaten fish. They are very, very, very good eating fish. Kind of like a mix between a grouper and a shrimp and a lobster kind of thing. They're very unique.
very
meats.
mild,
Very white.
white, flaky fish.
Very good. What baits are you using for grouper? Large frisky baits are definitely the trick right now for those gag grouper. But as the water continues to cool down, the big, smelly, oily dead baits will become better and better for those grouper. So we're waiting for that transitional period to kind of kick in. But right now it's been big, more frisky live baits that's been working well for those gags. Another question was, any idea if the new hogfish tagging being done is because possible change in hogfish regulations? No. Right now, there's no discussion of changing hogfish regulations. The big changes to hogfish regulations just got put into place, I think, at the very end of this past year. They jumped it 2 inches. They changed the quota on them. So there's going to be no more changes to hogfish unless something happens, like a stock assessment comes out and says one way or another that either there's too many of them, there's not enough of them. If we're not reaching our optimum yield levels, then that would change the hogfish regulations. But
I think people are worried about with the whole tagging thing, and it does, to somebody that's uneducated about it. When you hear about this tag, you catch a fish with a tag, you're like, I don't want them to know what the data was on it. You do want them to know what the data is on it. It's very important. They want to know that when they tagged that fish and they released it, that it lived.
yeah.
That's the most important.
Because the biggest thing for us as recreational fishermen is, for example, red snapper. They're only open 2 months out of the year at best. And those red snapper, the other 10 months, what happens is on those months that red snapper are closed and you're not able to keep any red snapper, there's still hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds of red snapper being counted against us because of what's called discard mortality. So when you catch a fish and you bring it up from the deep water and take it off the hook and throw it back, a certain portion of those fish are supposed to be or believed to be dead. So discard mortality rates severely change fishery seasons and fishery management and fishery allocations and fisheries quotas. So red snapper used to have a really high discard mortality rate. Now they've got it down to 11%, which I think, in my opinion,
That's a little high, huh?
no, I think that's a little low. I think
11.
more than 11% of red snapper we throw back die. I mean, maybe not on our boats, but general public.
Yeah, because we've got venting. We've got 3 guys.
We've got dehooking tools. We've got venting tools. We teach our crew how to do it. We teach our customers how to do it. So on our boat, yeah, probably 11% is believable. But on average Joe angler's boat and the other party boats that I've been on, I think 11% is a little
the
low.
trick with any of those fish that you're hopefully you're venting them, you better be venting them.
If you're fishing beyond 70 to 90 foot of water and you don't have a venting tool or a descending device on your boat, you're a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Period.
And I think you can get in some big trouble for it too.
No,
not yet.
It's not a regulation.
It's not a regulation yet.
It's best practices.
One should be. What I've noticed is the quicker you can take a small red snapper off the hook, vent him, and throw him back in the water without him dropping on your deck.
Yeah.
When they hit that deck, it's something about it. When they come swinging them into the rail, we're as quick as we can. Boom, venting tool off the hip.
And that's one of the things that I talked about. I got the honor of being elected chair of our outreach and education committee for the Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council. And that was one of the things we talked about. We had this release mortality symposium with all these scientists, and we spent 4 days in these meeting rooms going over all this data on discard mortality and discard mitigation. And one of the biggest things that I emphasized was, it doesn't matter if you vent or descend a fish. It matters how you handle that fish and how long that fish is out of the water. If you bring a fish up quickly, if you hook a fish, you crank them up as fast as you can. You get them to the surface, you get them unhooked as fast as you can, and you get them back in the water as fast as you can. That fish is going to have exponentially more chances to live than if you crank them up slow. Yeah. You get them to the surface. Oh, where's my net? Where's my gaff? And then you lift him into the boat. He hits the deck. He flops around. You can't pick him up. Yeah. Then you got to grab your needle nose and give him jaw surgery and crank open his jaw to get the hook out. Then you're fumbling around to pick him up. Then you're fumbling around to vent him or descend him. And he's out of the water for 45 seconds to a minute. Or if you, God forbid, you grab a camera and take 3 minutes to take a photo, that fish is dead. Yeah. He's dead. He's got no chance of surviving to the next season. And that is being counted against all of us. And that's the type of information that we need to get out there.
Have your tools ready for when you start fishing.
Have a dehooking tool, not a pair of pliers. Get a dehooking tool. Yeah. We're going to have a special dehooking tool coming out soon. Hubbard's Marina is working with Barracuda Tackle, and the dehooking tools that we use, that all our crews use, that if you took Will's dehooking tool away from him, he might freak out on you. I know how I am with mine. No one's allowed, not even my father is allowed to use my dehooking tool because they just don't make them anymore. But now they will. We're going to have them produced. We're going to have them in our shop. So make sure you have a proper dehooking tool. Make sure you have a venting tool or a descending device. And make sure you get them up fast, get them unhooked fast, and get them back in the water fast. Right. And we're not going to show the venting video because we've showed it every week for like the last 3 weeks. But it's on our website. Just Google how to vent a fish, salt strong, and that'll pop up the first result in Google. But we're getting short on time, so we just got a couple more questions to answer here. Gags are out of season in January, I believe. Yes, you are correct. Gags are only open June 1st through December 31st. Another question was about half-price trips. I want to take my kids fishing, but I was looking for some deals. We don't have any deals running now because we're coming up on a busier time of year. Right now we're kind of slow, but we're not super slow. Our discounted trips are generally around September, early October, early November, and then January, February. We sometimes do those types of deals. Excuse me. But right now, the best deal that we have going on is our 20% off gift certificates. If you go onto our website, hubbardsmarina.com, and you go to store, you can go to gift certificates, and right on our gift certificates page, you can buy a gift certificate. And if you use coupon code Black Friday, all one word, you can get 20% off a gift certificate. So you can buy up to $1,000 in gift certificates for only $800. So you spend $800, we give you $1,000. Or you spend $80, we give you $100. Or you spend, I think it's $400, we give you $500. Long story short,
it's 20%.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks for making it easy.
Picture, yeah.
Thanks for dumbing it down
Yeah.
for him, Frank. So yeah, 20% off gift certificates with coupon code Black Friday, no space. That's good until December 14th. So that's the way you get discounted trips. But make sure you read the gift certificate policies on the website page before purchasing. And keep in mind, if you call us and buy it over the phone or you buy it in our shop in person, you save a 6% online booking fee. Hint, hint. So also, besides that, we also have deals going on in our shop. Our Black Friday deals are still going on until this Saturday. So we got...
I actually need to get one of those. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Well, Saltigas, I'm pretty sure we might have sold out of those today.
What?
So, yeah, you may have missed the boat.
I may have missed the boat. The captain never misses the boat.
But we are gonna have to look tomorrow. I'm gonna be scouring our storage. I'm hoping we have more.
I just need one.
We'll see if we got one for you, bud. All right, let's see here. Do you have an age limit on the boat? Wanted to bring the family on a 5-hour. I have literally seen a nursing mother on a 5-hour trip catching fish. I've seen it. Yeah, so there's really no age limit on our 5-hour trips. It's great fun for the whole family. No, don't. There's no age limit on our 5-hour half days. It's fun for the whole family, and any level experience, beginners, novices, even experienced level anglers will have a good time coming out on a 5-hour half day. So definitely
bring them out. We'll take care of them.
Yeah, and it'll be a great time.
Crew we got, they'll be fine. Bring them on out.
So let's see here. We talked about the deals going on. Don't forget about our Fox 13 news shows. That Fox 13 news show is every Friday morning at 8:15 a.m. If you are not local and you can't turn on cable and look up Fox 13 News, you can just go to Google and type in Fox 13 News Tampa Bay. And right from their website, you can hit live. Where is it? It's somewhere. I thought it was, maybe it's more. Yeah, watch live. You can just watch the news live there. So if you're not local, you can still catch it Friday morning, 8:15 every Friday. Or if you just are busy working, you can always just go on their website and search for it. It's called the Good Catch segment, and they have a real helpful tool. You can sort it by date or relevance, so you can see all our past reports and videos. But if you want to see the most recent one, just click by date, and you can scroll down and find the most recent fishing report. And it not only has the video from our live segment, but it also has our huge fishing report listed there. So always lots of good information in there. So check out that Fox 13 report. I will pop it into the comments for you so you guys can check it out, because we're wrapping up the show now. So as soon as we're done, you can click on this link and check out our most recent report. And hopefully you'll catch it this coming Friday at 8:15 a.m. and every Friday at 8:15 a.m. Popped it in there to the comments. All right, so next thing we want to talk about real quick is our buddy sea bass. For those of you who fish with us quite a bit, you know who sea bass is. For those of you who don't fish with us quite a bit, sea bass is one of our crew members. His name is Sebastian. He's not doing so hot right now. He's in the hospital going through some personal health issues. So we just ask you guys to keep him in your thoughts. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And hopefully we'll have sea bass back quickly and fully recovered. He's definitely needs some thoughts and prayers. But next thing is the Bass Pro Shop seminar. We talked about it a little bit previously. I'm going to drop that into the comments again for you so it's nice and fresh. Make sure you check out that link and click going or interested. That's December 31st, 2 p.m. We'll see you at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops. Now we've wrapped this thing up. We've got through as many comments as we could get through in our time. If I didn't answer your question, I will try to get back through the comments here tonight and answer it via typing to you. You can always text me, again, 727-393-1947. You can text me your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them in a timely fashion. And hopefully we'll see you this week. Nice day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of weather. Tuesday's 10-hour all-day special hogfish trip, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can catch hogfish on the half days. Tuesday, we got a super light load on our 39-hour trip. Wednesday, we've got a 12-hour extreme trip. Come out and join us.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're too busy to go fishing.
You're just too darn busy.
There it is.
But we got to give away the later.
I didn't forget.
Okay, I thought you were about
forget.
wrapping it up. I mean, I'm all about wrapping it up.
I just wanted to scare everybody.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. Who won that free 39-hour fishing trip?
Hold on, let me log in real quick.
All right, so who won the free 39-hour fishing trip? One lucky winner, 39-hour trip for one, goes to Philip Michael Brittis and his wife. Philip's one of those guys who took his wife fishing. His wife caught a bigger grouper than him, but they were both over 35 pounds, so he can't complain too loud.
I hope so. They're adults.
No, the big rusty belly gags they caught were
okay.
both over 35 pounds.
Gotcha.
Hers was just a little bigger. But hey, it happens. I took my wife fishing and she outfished me too. So I warned you guys. That's all I can say about that. So congratulations, Philip, for winning that 39-hour trips. Thank you to the rest of y'all for watching. Thanks, Captain Frank, for coming back on the show. And we'll see you guys next week, Sunday. Tune in. This week, heading down to Puerto Rico for a marine resource education program meeting, some fisheries meeting. Yeah, I'm going to Puerto Rico, dog.
You know, I've got to go to that meeting too. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's meetings, man. It's not that fun.
Fair or something?
Nope. Sorry. I'll see you guys next Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Don't forget to tune back in and have a great week. And again, remember, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Have a good night, guys.
Later, guys. Come on out.